No,
we can
no, we'll close
out.
it
It
out.
doesn't matter to me, but you know, when I heard him talking about the bread and the feeding of the 5,000, you know, not too long after that, after my Lord had went off and he prayed a little bit while the disciples had went on out, and they were out on a boat there, and you know, they seen, and I'll speak on this just a little bit before I move, they seen a spirit coming out, what they thought was a spirit coming out, walking on the water there toward them, and no doubt it scared them. It would have scared me too. But you know, Peter there, he had a little bit of faith. When he asked who it was, and the Lord said it was him, Lord, if it was you, let me walk out there too. He had the faith to step out on the water.
That's right.
And he walked on, but he didn't have enough faith to keep looking forward to God there, and he started to sink a little bit. And you know, I have to go through this world every day, and I've got faith. Believe me, there's not a doubt in my mind that there's a Lord, and that He has saved my undying soul, and that one day when I die and leave this world, that I'm going to where He's going to be.
That's right.
You know, there's not a day that goes by that my faith doesn't get a little bit shaken, or that I forget what I'm doing, or I don't give the Lord the praise that I often should. I don't pray as often as I should, but you know, as I start to stumble and fall there, He seems to lift me up. When I come out to church on Sunday after a week of being battered and thrown about by this world, by the storms, He seems to reach down on those Sunday mornings and gives me enough to make it through my week. And we have brothers like this be blessed to come up here and preach a good word too. You know, it seems to lift me up, and I thank you for that this morning. But you know, you know, I can't wait to get home. I've got a new little angel there at home. A little angel that's about 8 pounds. You know, when people talk about angels, I don't mean he's a literal angel. Some people, when they think about angels, they think of a little chubby baby with wings and a little bow and arrow. That's not the way the Bible describes it today. You know, the Bible, they're adults. These angels are. They're not like the cartoons where they're wanting to do one thing bad and they're wanting to do something good. And on this shoulder, they've got this little chubby, a little angel on one shoulder and a little guy with pitchfork and horns on the other. That's not the way the angels are today. But you know, as I started, I began to think quite a bit when I was down at Forsyth, then at that hospital there. I would see people with the illnesses. I'd walk by the NICU. I've got a perfectly healthy baby that I've been blessed with, but I go by the NICU there, and we've been there not too long ago. And see those babies that have the problems, and to see the worry in the mother's eyes, to see the worry in the father's eyes when you can't do nothing about it, when you've got someone sick in your life, and it's just out of your control. We're controlling beings today. We like to have our hands on the reins. We like to know where we're going. We like to plan things out and schedule it, but death and illness and affliction, listen, those things, they're not on your schedule. You don't wake up one morning and say, today's the day where I think I'm going to have that heart attack. That's not the way it is. You don't wake up one morning and say, today will be the day that I die. But you know, just like my Lord, when He decides to close those church doors and get His children, there's not an angel, there's not a man on this world that knows when that's going to happen. But are you prepared? Is your faith driving you to be prepared? Do you have that insurance? You know, where I work at, I've got a real good insurance. I do. It don't cost much for me to go to a doctor. It don't cost much for me to get dental work or anything done. That's insurance. If I were to wreck my car out here today, and Lord willing I would survive, I would be able to give me a new one because I have insurance. But you know, a few years ago, I found an insurance, a heavenly insurance agency. Listen, my plan is called salvation. And when I leave this world, this old broken body, it's getting broke down day and day and day again. This old flesh here in that car is going to get broken down day and day and day again. And if I have to use my insurance to get a new one, I'm going to get one that's going to do the same thing. It's going to continue to break down. It's going to need more oil. But when this body right here, when it ceased to live and can't move on anymore, I'm going to be blessed with that insurance is going to pay for me a body that will never need an oil change. All that bread that we talk about, I won't need that physical bread to keep that body moving. But the bread of my Lord, it will be there in abundance. I will eat His table. Now listen, as I started, one thing that confuses me quite a bit, and I heard Brother Jason speak on, it's been on my mind for so long. When they talk about it in Hebrews chapter 13, where it says, "Be not forgetful to entertain strangers, for thereby some have entertained angels unaware." Have I done something like that? Have you done something like that? You don't know because you're unaware. But when I'm down in places like Winston-Salem, driving through the big city, it seems like I don't like to keep big bills on me because if I got a $100 bill in my pocket, it'll be gone by the time I get home because of that paper money. I spend it like it's going out of style. But when I got the smaller change, when I got the smaller dollars at work, I like to spend them on drinks or something. But when I'm down in Winston and I see somebody holding a cardboard sign saying they're hungry, or when I see not too long ago, me and Rachel were going through a family had a little boy out there just begging for a little bit of change, and every bit of change that was in our car, that's where it went. We don't know who, what they're going to need it for. We don't know what they're going to use it for, even if they're telling the truth.
God knows the intent.
But listen, my heart, that heart that my Lord has gave me, has done nothing but have compassion for those that I feel may not have as much as me. But you know what? Those people, if they don't have my Lord, they don't know what they're missing out on, because you can be out here standing next to Canaan Shore Road Regular Baptist Church begging for change. Little do they know that if I knew that I would leave this world right now, the first thing I would do is go out there. I'd say, "Here's my keys, here's my wallet. You can have anything you want because I've got everything."
That's right.
When I leave this world, I don't need anything. I don't need my car, my house. When I leave this world, no, I'm not going to look back and wonder what's going to happen in this world when I leave. No, I'm going on to a better place. I was talking to an old regular Baptist preacher last night on the phone, and we were talking about this world, how the Scripture is being perversed, and how things are being left out. And he said, "Son, all you can do really when you talk to people, or when you talk to people in this world, there's a heaven and there's a hell. All you can do is tell them the truth. What you read and what you experience, you tell those people, and you let them know where you stand. Don't let nothing break your foundation. Let this world keep going wherever it wants. Let them tell you that the Bible says this when it really says this. You stand upon the Word of God and do the best you can." Listen, I started, and this is a story that I'm sure everybody's seen here lately, and it makes me think about when I was a little boy. I was a little boy, probably just able to walk just a little bit, and I was standing there with my mother, and she had fell asleep, and I should not be alive today. There's been many times in my days as a baby until the days that I was an adult, when I was a teenager especially, that I should have left this world, and I have no explanation why other than I was being watched over. But as a little boy there, I pushed a little chair up to the door, and if you've been up in Kentucky lately, they've had a lot of snow, and when you have a lot of snow like that up there, when it starts to melt, the creeks will rise, and there'll be flooding all over. I got outside and it had been snowing, and it warmed up, and that snow had started to melt, and those creeks were rising. I'm just a little baby in a diaper out in this cold snow, and I fell over the hill there, and those hills, it don't take long once you hit those hills there that you're down in that creek, and that creek had risen there, and I'm just a little baby holding on for dear life. And what's funny, my grandfather he had just left to work there in the coal mines. He got down the road a little bit and remembered he'd forgot something and had to turn around. And he pulled into the driveway and he heard a little baby crying over the hill. And he said that his adrenaline and adrenaline's something inside of you. It can make you mightier than what you really are. He said that adrenaline pumped and he knew it was Shad that was down over that hill. And he said he jumped over that hill with everything he had and grabbed me up to keep me. He said that water was so close to me, all it would have took was just one little slip and I would have been gone and washed down that river there. When I think about this story that's been going on, it's been all over every news outlet. There in Utah, there was a fisherman, and it's kind of funny that it starts out with a fisherman, because it's such a heavenly little story. But that there was a little family there. It was just a mother and the daughter there in Utah that had been driving, and they had flipped over into a river there, and the car was submerged like this right here, with the driver's seat was submerged completely underwater, and in that back seat there, the baby, that little baby was suspended upside down, barely away from that frigid water. And a fisherman had went by and seen this car, so he called the authorities, and some rescue people came out there, and it was going to be a routine pull the car out of there kind of deal. But as they got out to the car, all four of them that was out there said they heard someone saying, "Help me." When they said they heard that, that's when that adrenaline started pumping, and they were able to flip that vehicle, something they couldn't have done without the adrenaline there, without that little bit of scare. They could hear somebody asking for help. They flipped it over there, and the mother who was in the front seat, they had been submerged in that water, I believe it said, for 18 hours. That's a long time for a little infant to be suspended upside down with no food, without anything, and that water was so cold that even the men that went out there to rescue them there, they had to be treated for hypothermia. But you better believe they're okay now. But they flipped that over and seen that the woman in the front seat had obviously been dead for hours. And they talked afterwards, and they said, I heard somebody saying to me when we were out in that water, and they looked at each other. I heard the same thing, and I heard the same thing. There's no doubt in my mind that they were entertaining some angels that day. That there was angels amongst them there. Are you entertaining angels today? Are you opening your door to your visitors? Listen, are you helping your neighbor? Listen, you could have been the person that was walking along there, the fisherman that saw it. You could have just kept going. And what a blessing we would have missed. This isn't a blessing that we get on a normal day-to-day basis. This is a blessing there that's going to spread out there, everybody, because you've got witnesses. And listen, that's exactly the way it is with my Lord. You want to know why the name of Jesus has survived so long? Because he went and ministered, he went and performed the miracles to the multitudes, and there was a witness everywhere. And it survived longer than any stories you may have ever heard, any history that's been told. There's no historical figure in this world that is more influential than Jesus Christ. And you know what? Abraham Lincoln, he freed the slaves. He sure did. We've had great presidents during our big world wars that's led us through. But you know what? They were finished when they left this world.
That's right.
Jesus Christ is the only big figure like that who left this world, came to this world not only to bear your sin, but left this world, first off, left his throne of glory, that heavenly home, to come down here and die for poor sinners like you and me. To bear your sin that you could not bear yourself. And he's coming back for you. He didn't finish when that was all over with, when they hung him upon that cross. He was not finished. He conquered death. He resurrected. And there's coming another resurrection. And there's coming another day when my Lord is going to perform another miracle. I'm awful thankful that we were able to meet out this morning.
Yeah, me too.
I feel like the Lord has truly blessed us here, and that we could have went anywhere else. Rather, you could have went anywhere else this morning and preached in another place, or you could have went to, like you said, some big church. And
Yeah.
I'm glad you came here, because any feelings you might have got here this morning, I can tell you,
Yeah.
I sit there and I got it tenfold. It was a blessing. It's a blessing, really, to stand up here before a bunch of people. And you know, I'm not one to try to get up and give a speech or anything like that. But it's a blessing to me to feel the Lord.
Yes, it is. That's right.
It's just as much of a blessing for me to sit and take my seat and to see a brother get up here and get blessings. And get blessed from my Lord, and for His mouth to open up, and there be nothing but spirit and truth come pouring out of it. I'm going to give way here. I just want to say that the church doors are open. I'm sorry I didn't stand a little longer, but you know, I don't know why it comes that way, but it's the things on my mind. You go ahead and get your song, sing whatever you want to do.